This story begins in the dark alleys of Washington Heights, New York, where a young woman was tormented, broken, and pushed into taking her own life. But death could not silence her pain. And now, her spirit has risen, fueled by rage, determined to destroy everyone responsible. It was past midnight in Washington Heights, New York. The city outside was quiet, an unusual silence that felt eerie rather than peaceful. Vicky Harper, 27, staggered inside his apartment on West 163rd Street. He had been drinking again, trying to forget what happened months ago. The girl they all betrayed. The girl they forced into silence. Priya Dalton. The girl whose death they called a suicide. But every man involved knew the truth. They drove her to it. He fell onto the bed and grabbed his phone. Just then, the TV blared to life. Static, hissing, white noise. Ah! Vicky jolted upright. What the hell? I didn't turn that on. He grabbed the remote and shut it off. Instantly, his phone rang. A private number. He answered with trembling fingers. Hello? A soft female voice whispered. Recognize me, Vicky? His blood turned cold. Priya? That name he hadn't heard in months. Shouldn't have heard ever again. No, you're dead. You can't. Vicky's voice cracked. Sweat ran down his face. Priya whispered, broken and breathless. Why didn't you delete my video, Vicky? His heart dropped. He screamed and threw the phone across the room. From the dark corner came the sound of someone sobbing. Lights flickered. The temperature dropped so fast his breath turned white. Vicky snatched his flashlight and scanned the room. Nothing.
Is anyone there?
But then, a cold, rotting hand brushed his shoulder. A whisper, inches from his ear. Turn around, Vicky. I'm right behind you. He turned, and there she stood. Priya Dalton, or what was left of her. Her face smeared with dried blood and mud, gashes carved deep into her arms, bones peeking through torn skin, her eyes hollow, milky, dead. Ah! Vicky screamed, "Help! Somebody help!" Priya gently placed her hand on his chest, then shoved her arm through it. Ribs cracked, blood gushed. She tore into his chest cavity and slowly pulled out his heart. Vicky collapsed, dead before he hit the floor.
The NYPD arrived at dawn. Detectives found no signs of forced entry, no weapons, no struggle. Cause of death, unknown. His body looked terrified, eyes wide open, mouth twisted into a silent scream. After a week of no leads, the case was quietly closed. But Priya wasn't done. 1 week later, 11 p.m., 181st Street subway station. Rushing air from the tunnel. Cold. The last train of the night. Ryan Miller, Vicky's friend and another man who wronged Priya, waited alone on the empty platform. He heard something behind him, soft, shaky breathing. He turned. No one. "Who is there?" he shouted. "Show yourself." No answer. But then, a jingling sound, like anklets, faint, moving, circling him. Ryan's hands trembled, sweat drenched his back. "Stop messing with me! Who's there?" The station lights dimmed. A shadow appeared ahead, and Priya floated out of the darkness. "You called me, Ryan, so I came." Ryan collapsed to his knees. "Priya, please, I'm sorry. Let me go, please." She extended her decayed hand. "Take my hand. Remember when you held it before? Don't refuse me tonight. Let's celebrate." Ryan sobbed uncontrollably. "Please, for God's sake, take my hand." He grabbed it, not by choice, but because something cold and unseen forced his fingers around hers. He screamed and tried to run, but slipped and fell straight onto the tracks, just as the last train entered the station. Impact. Silence. His eyes were open, frozen in pure terror. At the hospital, doctors were baffled. His heart, it looks like he suffered a massive cardiac arrest right before he fell, the coroner said. Ryan's friend, Nick Alvarez, arrived and stared at the body. Ryan would never kill himself, and Vicky didn't either. Tell me how two men die the same way, 1 week apart, looking scared to death. No one had answers, but Nick did. Priya, she's back. And he was right. The revenge wasn't over. This was only the beginning. After Ryan's horrifying death at the subway tracks, Nick Alvarez knew he was next. He felt watched everywhere. Every shadow felt like her shadow. He couldn't stay in Washington Heights any longer, so he left New York City and went to Jersey City to stay with his relatives, hoping distance could save him from Priya's vengeance. Nick's cousins were hosting a small house party. Music, drinks, laughter. He tried blending in, pretending everything was normal. He drank with a few friends, but his eyes kept drifting to every doorway, every dark corner, expecting her.
Where you going?
"Yo, Nick, where you going?" a friend asked. "Bathroom," he muttered. He walked toward the hallway, the noise of the party fading behind him. In the bathroom mirror, Nick splashed water on his face and looked up and froze. Priya was behind the glass, her rotting face smeared with blood and mud, black, hollow eyes dripping red tears, her jaw slightly dislocated, hanging unnaturally. Nick stumbled back. "No, Priya!" Her voice crawled across the room. "Priya, come on, let's party." He screamed, "Help! Somebody help me!" He ran out of the bathroom, but his foot slipped and he tumbled down the stairs. A sickening crack. His neck snapped instantly. He died on the spot, his eyes frozen wide open in pure terror. Family members rushed over screaming. Minutes later, the police arrived. Another unexplained death, another terrified expression, another young man, the third in 2 weeks. Back at NYPD 34th Precinct, detectives gathered around the files. Same pattern, same fear. No attacker, no evidence. Sir, all 3 victims, Vicky, Ryan, and Nick, were close friends. The killer might target whoever's left in their group. We need to reach the last friend before the killer does. They sent officers to pick up Logan Pierce, the final member of the group. At the police station, Logan sat at the interrogation table, shaking. Logan, do you know anything about your friends' deaths? The detective asked. Yes, sir. I know everything. The room fell silent. Logan slowly pulled out his phone and showed a picture. A young woman, glasses, books in her arms, long hair covering her shy smile. Priya Dalton. She died a month ago, jumped off her rooftop. Suicide. No, Logan whispered. It wasn't suicide. We killed her. The detectives froze. Logan continued, voice trembling. She went to college with us. Quiet, simple, always studying. We were seniors. She was an easy target. We followed her, mocked her, harassed her, blocked her path at the subway, forced her to go places she didn't want to go. That night, we crossed the line. Priya had screamed for help, but the roar of the subway drowned her voice. She escaped, but she was shattered. She killed herself because of us, Logan whispered. And now, she's back to kill me, too. He fell to his knees. Arrest me, please. Jail is safer than going home. The detective stared coldly. Justice takes time, Logan. Then he walked to the door and ordered, let him go. Logan's face drained of color. Sir, where do I go? She'll kill me. No answer. The station lights flickered, and Logan knew it was already too late. The last night. Logan reached his apartment in Lower Manhattan, terrified, jumpy at every sound. He bolted his door shut. Then, the lights went out, pitch black. His hands trembled as he lit a single candle on the table. Its flame swayed straight one moment, twisted the next, as if invisible breath circled it. Then he heard it, footsteps, bare feet, slow, coming down the stairs. Who's there? Logan shouted, light aimed. The stairs were empty, but the footsteps continued. Then, 2 dark handprints appeared on the wall, moving, climbing upward on the plaster. The candle went out. Darkness swallowed the room, and something wrapped around his throat. He gasped, choking, clawing at the unseen grip. His voice cracked into strangled moans as the pressure tightened. The neighbors heard him struggling, but by the time they broke the door at dawn, Logan sat deadless on the couch, eyes open, neck covered with dark blue bruises, like fingers had squeezed the life out of him. To be continued.